What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Now, I know this video is short, and that's because I wanted to update you on what Solana's price is doing, because it's actually something I've not seen in a while, but it could have some really good implications, especially for you Solana holders. Now, looking at Solana here, what we can see is that its price is doing exactly as we expected it to. Of course, I told you all that this is a multi-step process that it usually always follows. Again, we've been covering Solana for 2 to 3 years straight now, so we just kind of know what this thing likes to do. We know that when we're in these ascending channels, whenever we are on top of these ascending structures, typically they will eventually break to the downside. Now, when they break to the downside, what will generally happen is that the price will almost immediately go back down to the previous point of support on that trend line. So say if you're building up support, you're going to break to the downside of that ascending trend line, and you're going to say, okay, when was the last time we hit this trend line? Oh, okay, it was right here. That's where the price is the most likely to almost immediately go down to. Say, for example, if it looked like this, boom, you're almost, or let's go a little bit lower, like this, right? And you break out here, the likelihood is you're going to say, okay, we lost some support here. When was the last time we touched support? Right here. Let's draw our H, boom. That's where the price is going down to, right? So in this example, this is no surprise that we are building some support right here. Now, after that support is established, what will also then happen is we will then retest the trend line just to see if its price can recapture that trend line. Sometimes we'll bounce and then bounce back above that trend line and really rock it to the upside. That does happen occasionally, okay? I do call that a fake out to the downside, which is then usually followed by a breakout to the upside. But of course, there's no really guarantee of what's going to happen. You just have to kind of sit back and watch, and we are getting that decision right now. Now, you guys knew that already. You knew that we were going to backtest this. You knew that we were going to make the decision of whether we were going to get rejected and pushed to the downside or recapture it and break to the upside. But I am now noticing something pretty dang on interesting. What I am noticing now that we are getting a little bit more structure is that Solana's price is actually putting in a descending wedge or descending channel while backtesting this resistance. What does that tell me? Well, it is almost a 70% chance, closer to about 67% chance, that Solana's price will break to the upside of a descending channel. Now, when does that happen? There's no way of knowing. It could happen now, it could happen next week. There's really no way of knowing. But it is a good sign to know. Why is it a good sign to know? Well, it kind of tells us that as long as we don't lose the bottom side of this channel, whether Solana's price does break above this key level of support or get rejected by it, at some given point, we're probably going to see Solana continue this macro uptrend. And what that means is that as a Solana bull myself, and most of you are Solana bulls yourselves, that no matter what this outcome happens after we reenact with this trend line, we're very likely going to see some type of macro continuation to the upside. And I personally love to see that because it tells me that I don't even really need to be all that concerned about what happens at this interaction like we were before. If Solana's price does recover and break back above the trend line and we break out from this descending trend line here, we're likely going to push back up towards $140, maybe even $150. But if its price does get rejected and continue to the downside, it might gradually float towards the downside here. Who knows? Maybe go towards as low as $70. Maybe fake out to the bottom side all the way down to $60 and then recover and then break out to the upside as it usually will with this type of structure. Both of these are good scenarios. One means we go to the upside soon. One means we go to the upside a little bit later on, but I personally don't care which way that does happen because I'm a long-term holder. Now, as a result of this, I am actually going to be doing a little bit of buying on Solana. There's even a chance that I do go over to Margex. You guys know we're a partner of Margex because they are the best trading platform in the world. You don't need a KYC, you don't need a VPN, you just deposit funds, you start trading. Easiest platform, best platform to use. But there's a decent sized chance that what I do is actually go in on a buy here on a minor amount of leverage that would be extremely difficult to get liquidated, maybe like low 50s or high 40s, and just wait this thing out. Yes, there will be funding rates, so yes, I will have to pay for it, and I will have to kind of manage and decide whether or not it's worth it or not. But considering the fact that I am this confident that we will get this move to the upside at some given point, there is a good chance that I do go in and open up some leverage buys, expecting that if I can outlast those funding rates and outlast the ability to get liquidated by the price not dropping too hard too fast, then realistically I should be in some pretty damn decent profit, especially once we do start making some moves to the upside. So first and foremost, whether or not I go in on leverage or not, I will still be continuing my dollar cost average. Now, I did pause it for a little bit, but I love to see this. And because I love to see this, I'm going to pick back up on my dollar cost average. You can see the things that I buy down in the links down in the description below. But at the end of the day, there is, again, a small chance that I actually go in with some leverage over on Margex and open up a trade expecting it to be profitable, maybe either soon or possibly, of course, a couple of days or a couple of weeks from now. I'll keep you updated on that, okay? Don't jump the gun on that. But one way or another, I just wanted to give you a brief update because, again, this shows us when we enter into structure like this that it's kind of a win-win. We just need to outlast it. There's about a 25% chance that this thing does capitulate to the downside out of this channel, but that's really not what happens. 25% is the absolute, like, highest percent chance that that could happen. Okay, it's probably a little bit lower than that. Another thing to consider is that we are getting a massive drive of bullish divergence here on the daily Solana chart, which usually just indicates that we have this big wall of, or window of opportunity that Solana usually will take advantage of. So with all of these things in mind, I'm actually really bullish. I think this is short-term, mid-term, and long-term bullish. So I am going to, again, possibly be opening up that leverage trade. Check out Margex down below, or I'm just going to do some basic dollar cost averaging. If you want to know when I do buy that, check out the Patreon down below. But with all those things in mind, I hope this does kind of help you out a little bit to kind of gauge what you want to do in terms of Solana. Let me know your moves. Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you holding? Are you going leverage long? Are you going leverage short? Let me know down in the comments. I'll be there interacting with you. So of course, I hope you guys did enjoy today's quick update, and I will see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.